Hello and welcome back to the channel this week. This week's episode is all about JPEGs, straight out of camera JPEGs, and whether or not they should be adjusted at all. Now, everybody's got a different opinion on this, and I'm going to let you know what mine is. But first of all, I'm going to let you know what my experience is with JPEGs straight out of the camera. And for the last, let's see, I've been working on JPEGs in Photoshop since about the year 2000, 2001, something like that, going forward. And I've always felt that they've always needed to be toned. So that's my opinion. And to this day, I'm still experimenting with JPEGs out of the camera, trying to get them so that I don't have to mess with them at all. And it's been close. I've had some some close ones. Indoor sports is probably the most difficult, but outside you get harsh lighting, and I've tried opening up the shadows a little bit and calming down the highlights a little bit, make them a little bit flatter so that I can just go with them straight out of the camera. All I have to do is a little bit of cropping. But I've always found that I need to do just a little bit of toning. And I'm going to show you in this video what I do. And I think you'll see that there's quite a bit of difference between something that's straight out of the camera and something that's been toned just a little bit, make it look a lot better. Now, keep in mind, these are not raw files. You can't work on them the same way you do raw files. So you just have to keep in mind that there are some limitations. And since I don't do a heck of a lot to them, believe me, you can get away with a lot. And the JPEGs have been getting way better. I have friends in the news industry that only shoot JPEGs, and I've got one friend that only shoots RAW, and I keep quizzing him about that. But needless to say, most everybody uses JPEGs, speed, and that's the only reason, because you got to have speed in this game of news photography. You got to get those images out right away. So let me go over some of the things that I do. And like I said, I started out using Photoshop, and I still use Photoshop because it integrates well with Photomechanic, which is my editing software for my news work. Now, if I'm going to do work inside Lightroom, I can do an auto tone and I get nice results. So let's go look at some of the images that I made earlier this week. I just went out and shot some along the waterfront, and I did set up one here in my living room on top of my wood stove, or my pellet stove. So you'll see there's a big difference. Now, here's the other thing, is that since I made that statement, what the heck is Reala Ace? I had no idea what it was. So I did a lot of research, and I did some trying to find out if I could simulate it. And Fuji X Weekly has done a Reala Ace film simulation, so I'm using that. Now, my problem with that simulation is, and it may be correct, it might be right on the money, but it's too blue. It's way too blue for me. So the world doesn't look blue to me. I'm sorry. So, I mean, he's trying to make sure that it looks the same as Reala Ace 100 or whatever you want to call it is, or was. And I'm trying to get something that looks more normal to me. So let's take a look at the stuff that I've done just recently. What I'm going to do in this demonstration is show you why I feel that straight out of camera JPEGs really is a misnomer, and that they need to be toned before you can present them. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is why I think straight out of camera JPEGs are really a misnomer. They need to be toned first before you present them. Now, I'm going to go over 4 images, and I've applied 4 different film simulations of mine, and I think one of them is a Fuji X Weekly one that I've been playing with, trying to get one so that I don't have to process it at all. But I found that that's not the case. You still have to do something to it. Now, some of you, I'm sure, are going to disagree a lot. So this is my first image, and it's done with my classic chrome +2 color, my normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I have processed this. All right, so this is what it looked like before any processing at all. It's a little bit deep. It needs to be adjusted. So we're going to go up here, and this is what it looks like after I've done this adjustment. So if you pay more attention to the histogram on the right-hand side and everything over here on the right, not my history over here, you'll see what has been done to this image. Now this is all just an auto toning done to this. That's it. And I haven't changed anything. The white balance is staying the same as it was shot. Nothing done to it other than that. When you hit auto toning, what happens is it will play around with the vibrance a little bit and maybe even the saturation, but I zero those out, so there's no adjustment at all. So this is my first one. Here's my second one, and you can see this one here is also a little bit deep. So you can see this is my second one. It's a little bit deep, but what it is it's a film simulation with Ostia, my Ostia one. And as you can see, after it's been adjusted, it looks much better. This one here is a little bit flatter. This is my classic chrome normal, I call it, where I've opened up the shadows a little bit and made it so that I can work with it in a press situation, because really what we're dealing with in a press situation is we're dealing with dot gain in a publishing scenario where the ink blocks up the blacks. So I have to open up the blacks a little bit. And what my goal here is to find one where I don't have to do any of that. It's already done in camera. And this is as close as I've found to it already. So here's the next one here. This is Reala Ace. And you can tell it's a little bit blue, and that's this is what it looked like beginning, and this is after it's been adjusted a little bit in Lightroom. So let's go to a few more. Let's go to these taken down to the waterfront here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and what it looks like on import. And you can see what I've done here is I've made it so you can see the clipping that is going on here without any processing at all. This is the clipping that's showed up. And you can see that the highlights are blown here. And let's see if there's any problems with the shadows. You can see the shadows. The shadows on here are blue. You can see this little blue down here. That's where the shadows are blocked up. And the red here on this rope here is where it's been blocked up there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to play with this a little bit. And we're done. Let's see if I can knock out both of these. So, this is my normal classic chrome plus red, and you can see this is after processing, and you can see we have very little blocking up down here in the bottom with this with the shadows are blocked up like this. Now you can open this up a little bit more, and you can take care of that even better. Now you can go over here and let's see if there's any clipping over in the rope. There's no clipping going on because this has been processed. Okay, this one here is my Ostia setting, and you can see that as it's shot, and this is a normal exposure, you can see that we've got some clipping going on here in the rope. Let's see if there's any clipping going on below here. And there's no clipping in the shadows. So now, if we correct this, there's no clipping anywhere, except for the, believe it or not, there's some clipping down below in the shadows. So let's see if we can open the shadows up a little bit, and it's gone. See, a little bit of work goes a long way. Now here's my normal. This is my classic chrome normal. And this is, whoops, this is as it was imported. You can tell we got clipping in the rope, maybe a little bit down there, and let's see. Now I'm going to have to open up these shadows even a little bit more to get rid of that down here. But as you can see, it's much better. Let's go to the Reala Ace. Reala Ace on import. We have clipping. But after it's been processed, very little clipping in the shadows. So I don't mind the clipping in the shadows. I hate blown out highlights. So you can see, after we've done some processing, the JPEG is fine. But straight out of camera, it's not. So let's go over here and we'll look at this, two more shots here. And this one here is of this, and I was exposing for the white here because I didn't want that to blow out. Now you can see with there's going to be some shadow clipping here. Let's see if it gets any better. It doesn't get a whole lot better, but we can help that a little bit. But we still got some clipping down here, and this is my classic chrome plus 2 color. Now if we go to the next one, It's not nearly as bad. This is my Ostia. Let's see what it looked like on import. And see what it looks like afterwards. Still got a little bit there in the floorboards here, but that's black. You're never going to get that back. Now let's see. This is my Classic Chrome +2 color normal. Let's see what it looks like after it's been played with. I don't mind this where it's black here. That's fine. Reala Ace. This is the blue version. And you can see, got some clipping here. But not a lot because I exposed for the stern of this boat. Now we go over here, and it's only these cracks here that are clipping. Which is, and you can see we've got a normal histogram here. Alright, so let's go to this last one here. Now this last one, this one here is Classic Chrome +2 color, and this is what it looked like on import. Got a little bit of clipping up here. Let's see what happens when we help that a little bit. Got a little bit of clipping up top, but it's not too bad. Alright, so the next one is the Ostia profile. Here it is on import, here it is on, and a little bit of clipping. If I open up the shadows a little bit, you see, I don't want to do this. I want this to be straight out of camera, but you can't do it. It needs to be toned. Okay, this is my Classic Chrome +2 color, and it's my normal film simulation where I've done the opening up of the shadows and bring down the highlights a little bit in camera. And it's, to me, this looks the most normal. If I want to bring this down a little bit, now you see, this is a flat profile. Let's go to Reala Ace. This is what it looked like on import. This is what it looks like after I've fixed it. So as you can see, if you look at the histogram and you turn on your clipping, you'll see that your images straight out of camera are not very good. They need to be worked on, but not very much. You just hit auto and make sure your saturation and your vibrance and your white balance is not affected at all, and it will be the best you can get it. So that's it for this week, and believe me, I think you'll find that your JPEGs look a lot better after you've done just a little bit of toning. So that's it for this week, and I hope you enjoyed this little episode on why JPEGs should be toned. And if you wouldn't mind, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel and comment. I know you're going to comment anyway. That would be great. Also, please check out capeandphototours.com, and we've got a great workshop coming up with Bill Fortney in October, and I know you'll enjoy that, and check out the link below. So that's it for this week, and remember, it's not what you photograph, it's how you photograph it, and we'll catch you next time.